Inconsistently consistent.
So since it's your birthday episode, you can do the intro.
Oh, since it's my birthday episode, you should do it.
But I did it last time.
I don't remember.
I remember because
It's
my
my
brain.
birthday episode. I should get to tell you what to
God,
do.
fine. Hello, welcome back to Consistently Consistent, the podcast where we complain about who does the intro and one of us doesn't want to do it because it's her birthday episode and she's a Taurus.
Yes.
My name is Rachel.
And I'm Melanie, the Taurus.
And when this comes out, it's going to be Melanie's birthday week. So happy birthday, Melanie. Fwah, fwah, fwah.
And I'm stubborn enough to always get my way.
It is also our 10th episode. Fwah, 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 fwah.
And for our dead
Our
episode.
dead? Oh, God.
This is our also with a funeral of inconsistently consistent. I can't even talk tonight.
This is the last episode of the podcast. We made it to double digits, and now we're going to have a funeral. We're going to have an in memoriam for the podcast.
Funny enough, I was joking about planning my funeral this week. My parents are talking about their wills and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to plan out their estates and stuff like this. So I'm, they're asking me a lot of stuff, being, a lawyer who does estate work and, free advice. So they've got to get all the advice where they can get it. But anyway, so I'm talking about my funeral and joking about how I'm going to put in the weirdest shit imaginable into my will and then make everybody have to deal with it. So, I was like, I'm going to be cremated, but then I'm going to ask for an open urn funeral.
Oh.
Yeah, like open casket, but open urn.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I'm going to request that googly eyes be put in my urn. And then maybe not an urn, but imagine it it's like a can of sardines and it's peeled back.
Yes. Okay.
That's the receptacle.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will make this happen for your funeral. If you go before me, I will make this happen.
Yeah. And maybe like a full body of pipe cleaners built around it,
No, full body with glow sticks.
Oh, yes. Oh, there was that dance crew kind of thing on AGT.
Yes.
I want that. I want a full dance crew thing where it's oh, is she alive? No. Okay, never mind.
I seen something on TikTok. Yes, relating it back to TikTok because I have a problem. Hi, my name is Rachel, and I have a problem with TikTok.
Hi, Rachel.
But there's a girl on there. She's a funeral director or a mortuary, one of the two. Mortician. I think they're the same, maybe. Mm-hmm. But somebody made a comment and she stitched it and they were like, man, I want somebody to show up in my funeral in a black suit and stand in the back with an umbrella, and so that way my family and friends are like, who's that? So people think I'm important. And she stitched it and she's standing there in a suit with the umbrella and Kiss from a Rose is playing. And she does the one wipe away with the tear, and I'm like, this is what I want for I want somebody to stand there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna have a whole request that thing for on my tombstone. I want that banana, the banana slicer review from episode 1.
Yeah,
I want that as my inscription.
My inscription
with no explanation of it.
My inscription is gonna say, "Oh no, our Rachel, she's broken."
It's gonna date you so bad.
It is gonna date me so bad, but that's okay. That's totally okay. I've also decided that the person who's going to be standing in the back is going to speak with Russian accent so we can continue to play up the thing that I'm a Russian spy.
Okay, Rachel, right now, pact.
Okay.
If, no matter who dies first, one of us has to do that. at the other's funeral has to stand in the back in like all black, possibly in leather, like trench coat style thing, sunglasses, even though it's like dark and rainy, probably because that's what happens at all funerals,
obviously.
Movies.
Yep.
And like have a umbrella whether or not it's rainy, even if it's sunny, because that's how Pretty Little Liars did it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And stand there and not say anything, even if they're spoken to.
Yes, just stand there stoic.
Yeah, and then like speaking to their sleeve or something.
Yeah.
At random.
Yeah, but we have to make sure that people don't know it's us, so we gotta wear disguises.
Yeah, it's like a wig.
Yep, and like a mustache.
Yeah. At the same time, like a long wig, so it's like you're a woman but also a mustache, so it's like, what the fuck are they doing?
So it's like, wait, are you a woman or are you a man? And that's when you would be like, how dare you assume my gender?
Yeah, it's how dare you gender me?
And then
you could say that in the Russian accent.
Yeah, how dare you? They question my gender. I don't like it here.
I'm so offended. I must go back to my country.
I must report back to Mother Russia.
Or somewhere else. Speak or loose leave.
You know, somewhere else, like Mother Ukraine. Or Moldova.
Looks up into the sky though, like as if they're an alien.
Yeah. So now that we've planned our funerals,
let's get to the Deadpool.
So this is our first episode of our new segment, series, whatever thing. Movie watch 2K22.
And we are starting it on 4/20, aka Hitler's birthday.
AKA maybe not the milkman's birthday. I got confused between the 20th and the 21st.
Oh my god. Rachel.
I know.
The milkman?
I know.
May have the same birthday as Hitler?
I know.
And you both were history buffs?
No, the milkman was never a history buff.
No,
Dude was the history buff.
Dude was a history buff.
Yeah.
But he and you pissed off the history buff, but the one that pissed off the history buff was the milkman, who was born possibly on Hitler's birthday.
Yes.
Who gassed the Jews. Conspiracy.
I can't remember if it's the 20th or the 21st. I think it's the 21st.
Oh.
Can't confirm because me and the milkman are no longer on speaking terms. So, like, there's that. Also,
that's okay, we'll call him. We'll put him on the podcast.
Oh, no. I don't have it. He changed his phone number, so I don't have the new one. So we can't call him unless we call his work.
Imagine that. Episode 100, we call the milkman.
Episode 100, we reveal who the milkman is. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. We make it to 100 episodes, we'll reveal who milkman and dude is.
Oh, God.
But yes, Deadpool. Let's talk about Deadpool.
Yeah, so I have watched Deadpool before, and I love Deadpool. He is my favorite superhero. Because he is an anti-hero. And I have a really twisted sense of humor, if people haven't already figured that out.
I mean, if you can't tell by the fact that we just planned our funeral on air, then yes.
And Rachel, how much, because you tried to watch Deadpool before.
Yes.
But you didn't watch much.
No, I think I got, when I was watching it, I think I got within like the first 15 minutes where he's fighting everybody in the cars, and then I turned it off. So I actually watched the whole movie. I watched it while I was working, but I made some notes about certain points, and I will say I actually enjoyed it.
You did?
I did. I actually liked it. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Because that's all you're allowed to say, Rachel.
Okay. Yeah.
No, you can give your honest opinion. I won't be offended. But
Okay.
we both love Marvel so much.
Yes.
But this is my favorite Marvel character just because he is such a nutcase. Mm-hmm. And I fucking love him.
Yeah.
Because he's just great. He's just chaos incarnate. And it's just fantastic to watch.
Yeah. So I made some just some jot notes while I was watching it of some points that I liked. So the first one I have is the intro credits. The way that he had them, where it was like British villain, hot chick, average dude. I thought that was really cool, and I love the intro song.
Yes, the soundtrack of the whole movie, like the music is on point.
Honestly, we're gonna skip ahead right quick. At the end, when he was playing "Careless Whisper" by George Michael, and I love that song. I was like dancing in my work chair, like.
There is a sequel as well, by the way.
Yes, I know. It came up to it came up because you watched Deadpool 2. I'm like, maybe there'll be another movie watch.
And apparently they are working on the third one.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. But I think the music is good in the second one too. I can't really remember the second one as much. I didn't like the story as much. Mm-hmm. But the music is on point. Love a good music. Love a good soundtrack. Like Careless Whisper is great. But the opening, I loved it. Yep. I loved how they did everything is just stuck in that kind of frozen. It's all frozen and you're just kind of moving through. Mm-hmm. And you get to see Deadpool's crotch is stuck on someone's face. And you see the wallet opened up and you see the little card of Green Lantern. Yep. So, because Ryan Reynolds played Green Lantern on the DC Comics side and it was a big flop. And Ryan has said that the only thing good about that movie was the fact that he met his wife. Yes. And throughout the movie, they actually make jokes about Green Lantern and about DC Comics. Mm-hmm. And about how shitty of an actor Ryan Reynolds is.
Well, also, we've discussed this before, that we think the Marvel superheroes, not necessarily the villains, are superior than the DC ones.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I prefer Marvel kind of in general. Yeah. To DC, right?
Yeah. Same.
So this was kind of Ryan Reynolds' redemption as the superhero.
Yes. The next thing I wrote is he made a reference about Mama June doing yoga or smelling her after doing yoga.
Yeah.
And I thought that line was chef kiss. Because I despise that thing, and my sister loves, there's a new season of her show coming out, and my sister's like, oh my god, guess what, new Mama June, and I'm like, get it away from me.
I never watched any of the, because Mama June is what is it, Honey Boo Boo?
Yeah.
I never watched any of that stuff. I know the reference, but, I never really watched any of that stuff, but...
No, my sister loves that. I can't stand it.
Yeah, but I do love Deadpool's wisecracking constantly.
Yeah.
Right? And the mid-fight scenes, just constantly wisecracking.
Mm-hmm. I like that he keeps breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, that's actually my next point that I was going to make.
And I have another
love the meta references.
I have another point later on that has, he's talking about breaking the fourth wall while breaking the fourth wall. So 16 wall breaks. They put wall breakception.
Yes, it's a 4x4.
Yep, it's a 4x4. I also, when he threw the dude and he hit the sign, my notes literally just say, man goes sploot against sign.
And I love how he's like, you wore the brown pants.
Yeah.
Good choice, right?
Good choice. You wore brown pants today. Good choice. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm going to base my outfit choices going forward, depending on what I think is going to happen in them. So, like, red if I think there's going to be blood, brown if I think I'm going to sharp myself, you know.
White if it's snowing.
White? No, I cannot wear white pants. I will ruin those.
It's too much of a risk.
It's way too much of a risk for me because I am just like, I slop every 5 seconds sometimes when I'm eating. And I'm like, well, alrighty then.
I really like the action in the movie as well. Mm-hmm. And there's a thing I find with like when you're watching like some superhero movies, like especially Marvel, like if you think of like Captain America and his moral compass, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? He would never kill.
No.
Deadpool is like killing everything.
Well, he started off as, I guess,
a mercenary.
/mercenary.
Yeah. So he's a hitman for hire, basically. And Deadpool, mm-hmm. like the name comes from the Deadpool, because it's basically a joke of which one of the mercenaries for hire mm-hmm. is going to end up dead. So whoever, all those people in that bar were betting on who was going to die. So that was what the Deadpool was. That's where he gets his name.
I have a note also about the X-Men cameo, and he was talking about the blow-up house. And I just wrote in brackets, in Soviet Russia, house blow up you, because he's like, the house gets blown up every few like months or something. So then I said, in Soviet Russia, house blow up you.
Yeah.
I also got mad when he was like, I have 12 bullets. I need to save them. And then he wasted like 4 of them trying to shoot that one guy. And I wrote in all caps, stop wasting bullets.
Yeah.
Because that made me mad.
But he then gets mad at himself.
Yes, he does.
For it as well, right? He's like, bad Deadpool.
Bad Deadpool that he hit somebody. Good Deadpool.
I love the constant like narration of what he's doing, because it's just like he's constantly like stream of consciousness, like just talking his way through shit. Mm-hmm. But one of the things I really like about the Deadpool movies is the R rating.
Yes.
Because a lot of the superhero movies you watch, you don't get to see blood, you don't get to see any gore, and you don't get to see a lot of like death or like, as you know, grim as I'm talking right now, but like think about all of the regular Marvel canon all the way through Endgame. All of those movies, even all those battle scenes, we didn't see a lot of gore, you didn't see a lot of death, and you didn't see a lot of people killing each other, like a lot of the main heroes killing. Right? Because of like think of like the ethics of things, because like your hero shouldn't be a killer, right? And they're so restricted into this like good guy mentality. So like Deadpool has this like just like throws all of that out the window and has all the freedom to do whatever the fuck he wants. Right?
He really does, yeah.
But sometimes it gets kind of boring watching movies like in the Marvel universe when they are so restricted, and it's just like, oh, well, what are we gonna do? Well, we're all gonna have to work together to take down this guy. But it's all like, if you just like letting the good guy go, like the bad guy go, and then they go do something worse because they made the good choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's like a right at the end where Deadpool was gonna shoot the villain in the head, and Colossus does this big speech about being a hero, and there's like 4 or 5 moments that are so good that make up a hero, and then Deadpool just shoots the guy, and he's like, yeah, was done with this speech.
Yeah, he was like, right? I'm done listening to you. I think that's kind of like we think heroes being good and stuff. I think that's why a lot of people in the Marvel universe had an issue with Bucky, because like he was an assassin. Mm-hmm. He is a trained assassin and he's killed people. I think he's the only one like consistently probably throughout. We don't count Thanos because, he just snapped a finger and bam.
Yeah.
But I think consistently throughout with Bucky, he's the only one that we've seen actually kill people. Like we saw him kill Tony's parents, we saw him kill all these other people. And in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we saw him kill that kid and everything. So I think that's why some of the more quote unquote righteous people, or, like Tony, they have an issue with people trying to see him as change because they're like, no, he's bad. I think that a lot of the regular Marvel movies tend to see things as like black and white. They don't really see the gray.
Yeah. And like real life is gray.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like, and Romanov and like Fury would probably lean more towards Deadpool's kind of like, if I kill the bad guy can't go do more bad things.
Yeah.
Right?
I think on that sense, they're probably like that. And even Clint, when his family disappears, he is kind of just doing...
Yeah, he just went on a rampage.
Yeah, he didn't really have like any logic behind it. Well, I guess his logic was his family didn't survive and all these bad people did. So to him it's not fair. Mm-hmm. But like you can kind of equate that to if you're somebody who believes in God heavily and like say a family member gets cancer and dies.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, we're good people. Why did this bad thing happen to me? I think that's kind of like where Clint's mindset was in that movie. Mm-hmm. And as we saw with like Black Widow and stuff, like Natasha goes back and forth between wanting to be a hero versus going back to her roots as an assassin. So it's very, her and Clint are probably the two that are very like more so the gray area.
Yeah, but that's why I like the Deadpool movie. Like it goes in like the complete opposite direction of it. There's because Marvel, the other Marvel movies are more way into the like everything is black and white and yes or no, and then Deadpool is like blows all of that up and it's like everything is gray. The world should be painted in blood.
The world needs to be painted in the blood of man. Which is a move.
But like real life is like all matters are in the gray and we need to kind of like assess every certain situation. So like sometimes watching a Marvel movie I'm kind of like, but like guys, can we have a little bit more like thinking about things?
Can we have an actual discussion?
Yeah, it's like it gets to the point it's like I can't handle sometimes Steve Rogers' like, like never-ending optimism.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just like, Steve, I could punch you. Just stop with all of that happy-go-lucky, everyone can be reformed and saved and he'll learn from it, right? Yeah. Without like changing their ways, without being able to have some type of rehabilitation or like something stepping in to change things.
Yeah, like a intervention type thing.
Yeah, like we need a medium between Steve Rogers and Deadpool.
Yeah,
we need it in between.
We need we need a mix between the two of them. One other note that I wrote is he made a comment about the dudes. He's like, stop bedazzling everything. You have jeans, not a chandelier.
Yeah. I love his jokes.
I like that. And also he said, we're like fucked up tooth fairies where we just take the teeth and take your money.
I don't even remember that one.
I wrote it down because I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I like it. Also, his buddy at the bar, what was his name? I don't know if they said his name.
Weasel,
where he's like, I never win anything. And I'm like, that's a mood because I never win anything. So me and you are the same, Weasel.
I liked the characters. Like, besides Deadpool, I feel like they gave us some memorable characters. Like, the cab driver was funny.
Oh my god, I love the cab driver.
Right? And he comes back in the second one, I'm pretty sure.
Yay! I like the cab driver.
Is a good Dopinder is a good character, and then Al, the blind lady that he's roommates with, is his buddy. She's, I think, shows up a bit more in the second one. And I did like the love story aspect of it.
Yes.
The banter between him and Vanessa is really funny.
I wrote also, it seemed like they were having sex every holiday. So I wrote sex holiday, and then I put in brackets, I need this.
What would the sex holiday be?
I think it would just be...
Would we start a new day? Like, pick a new date out of the year and make it the sex holiday?
No,
it's like 420, but for like sex.
It would be hang on, June 9th, so it'd be 6/9.
Nice.
That would be
a good one.
Thank you. That would be the sex holiday.
Yeah. That's a good one.
And you just all day, just everybody have sex. Or, I mean, you could do it for a week.
And it should be the International Day. The International Intercourse Day.
Yeah, oh, nice.
The International Day of Intercourse.
Nice. Who do we go to get this put on the calendar?
I feel like we need to petition the UN.
Yes. Let's do it. Because, let's petition the UN. I don't know.
And I feel like the person that we really need to put a face on this campaign is Ryan Reynolds, because he would do it.
Oh, he would be so down for this. He really would be. But funny
him
story.
As Deadpool, potentially.
Yeah. So kind of funny story. I remember one time I went on a trip without Dude when we were together. And that's kind of a week is kind of a long time not to see somebody and not to, horizontal tango.
Okay, let's see how many euphemisms we can work into this.
So I remember saying to him, I was like, I was gone for a week, and I was like, we are going to dance with no pants every single day for the next 7 days. And he was like, Excuse me? I was like, listen, it's been a week. We're doing this. Dude had no stamina, so we didn't last very long. We made it I think 2 days, and he was like, no, enough. And I was like, what do you mean enough?
Enough.
I was like, what do you mean enough? Sir? Like,
That's
no.
what I call my dog. Don't say that. Sir?
Sir?
I call my dog when he's not listening to me.
I call my cat Floof Face, or Demon Floof, or Floof Monster, or Butthead.
Yeah, when the dog's being cute, it's Mr. Floofy Boot.
Yeah,
especially after he gets groomed and he's all floofy.
Oh, extra floofy.
Oh, Mr. Floofy Boot.
Yeah, so let's petition the UN to make June 9th International Intercourse Day.
The International Day of Intercourse. I think it has a nice ring to it.
International Day of Sexual Intercourse.
Sexual feeling.
Sexual dance with no pants. Tango.
The dance with no pants.
The dance with no pants. The horizontal tango.
The dance with a hole in your pants.
The sausage in the bun.
The sausage in the bun. The 2 sausages. The 2 buns.
Kind of on that note, I said when he pulled out the ring pop and was like, asked her to marry her, she's like, where did you hide that? And it showed his butt. I was like, no, he did not put that in his butt.
Yeah, and I was like, she's about to put that in her mouth, and I'm about to gag.
Yeah, that was my thought too. I'm like, oh no, that was in his butt.
And not in the good way, because I've been watching a lot of Drag Race, and I'm about to gag. And like not in a good way, though.
Yeah. I was just like, oh no, she's going to put it in his mouth and it's going to taste like ass.
Oh.
But thankfully
the first time, every time you see a ring pop, you got to put it in your mouth. Right? Like it makes you want to just suck on it.
There is
another euphemism coming on.
There's an unwritten law of the universe that every time you have a ring pop, you have to put it in your mouth.
Yeah, but not when it comes out of Ryan Reynolds' asshole.
I mean, okay, maybe if you're into that, maybe if it's a clean asshole, like maybe if he, oh my god, maybe if he sat on a bidet and like cleaned everything out, maybe.
Maybe on the International Day of Sexual Intercourse.
Maybe, yes.
Approved by the United Nations.
Yes, the United Nations of Horniness. I was also very sad when it found out that he had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
That hit a little too close to home.
Mm-hmm. Did you know that this movie actually came out on Valentine's Day of the year it came out?
I didn't.
I did. It was marketed as a Valentine's Day movie. So it was like, bring a date. Come watch some people get shish kebabbed and also some people fucking.
Didn't he made a comment about that? Like, oh no, my boyfriend made me watch this superhero movie.
Yeah.
And it's a comedy, a romantic comedy.
Yes, because it was also breaking the fourth wall again on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
To be like, hell yeah, my boyfriend brought me to a superhero movie on Valentine's Day, right?
But
For a date night movie.
The only people who would do that as a date night are probably like 10 people.
Are probably like 10 people?
Yeah, because most girls are not really into superheroes. And they're probably like, no, I want to watch a rom-com on Valentine's Day, which... Bleh.
But see, they marketed it like a rom-com. So a lot of the features that were like not the actual trailers, but the little featurettes and stuff were like Deadpool in a bathtub, Deadpool on a couch with like fuzzy nighties on top of his suit, and like all like with like sexy music going on, right? Like marketed like Marvin Gaye playing, right?
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
Right? And they've made little clips of Deadpool doing stupid shit like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just such a stupid little shit.
Yeah.
One thing I do wish is that they made him bisexual like he is in the comics.
Yeah.
He is hetero in the movies, though he is heterosexual from his jokes, you'd never know. Because he seems to have a thing for Wolverine.
I mean, I think he does. I mean, who wouldn't have a thing for Wolverine? Let's be honest. Hugh Jackman? Hell yes. That would be my thing for International Day of Sexual Intercourse.
He at least seems to be very confident in his heterosexuality, that he's going to make so many jokes about sucking a dick and shit, right?
Yeah. One thing I did mention, I guess, speaking of dicks, like, I was mad when he was like, Vanessa, I'm leaving you because I have cancer and I don't want you to deal with it. And I'm like, excuse you, sir.
Yeah.
No, we don't do that.
But then Vanessa was the strong ass woman who was like, get your fucking ass back in here. She
was. Also, Colossus looks like he's wearing a bra.
I never thought that, but yes. That also reminds me of the boob scene.
Yep.
Where I don't remember her name, but
did we ever learn her name? I don't think we did.
I don't think it was mentioned. I didn't pay attention to it.
But yeah, the super strong
the super strong villain woman.
Yeah, and her boob pops.
Her boob is out.
Yeah,
and he's like, oh my god, oh, you're left, a thing, oh, and she's like, oh my god, that's so sweet, and then she like puts it back in, and then beats the shit out of him.
Beats the shit out of him. She's like, thank you for being a gentleman and not looking. Punch you in the dick.
Yeah.
I also liked his comment about Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
Heaven's Gate looking motherfucker.
Yeah. And then later, earlier, I think, actually, in the movie, he says, he's like, are we going to see Professor X, Xavier? And he's like, is it McAvoy or Stewart? I can't get a handle on these timelines. Love the fourth wall breaking shit.
Yeah, he also makes comments about being from Regina a lot, which I as a Canadian, and I'm sure you as a Canadian appreciated. Mm-hmm. Where he was like, Regina.
And then he's like, Regina rhymes with fun. Yeah, he made a curling reference. There's lots of Canadian jokes.
Yep. I liked his T-Rex where he like was trying to punch Colossus and he ended up breaking his wrist. And then he's like, all the dinosaurs feared the T-Rex. Yeah. He stand there with his little tiny arms and all I could think about was Deadpool as a T-Rex.
Yeah.
And then I want somebody to draw that for me.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about his abilities. We're just talking about his stupid.
Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming, because I don't think they really said.
Yeah.
He's immortal or he has really fast healing or something like that.
Yeah. So let's run it back for a second.
Okay. We're gonna rewind.
Why don't we give the people a recap? Should we give the people a little rundown of the movie?
You know what? We probably should have given them a quick summary now that I think of it. We just kind of jumped right in.
Oh my god, yeah. We'll figure out how to do these episodes.
Eventually, we will figure out how to do these. This is our first one, so bear with us, listeners.
Yeah. Okay, so Deadpool. The fantastic movie that Melanie loves and made Rachel watch for Melanie's birthday. Mm-hmm. So, a man, played by Ryan Reynolds. It's going strong. It's starting out.
Very strong.
Yeah. So his name is Wade Wilson. He's a mercenary. He's like ex-Marine, I believe, or ex-Special Ops kind of guy. And he's a mercenary who's taken on these like, jobs for hire. And he ends up in a relationship. But he ends up getting diagnosed with terminal cancer, and there's no way to save him. He's way too late in the stages to basically even get anything to help. Mm-hmm. So he's like approached by some random dude who's in like all black suit and is like, hey, woohoo, well, I've got a cure for you. I can make you like a super guy, woohoo. And so when he's at the end of his rope, he decides to say, fuck it, I'll do that. And he goes off to do that, but actually he just gets tortured to like almost death. And his not his super, but like his
mutation.
His mutant, like latent mutant genes
come
out to like save his life. And then it like leaves him super, super ugly, scarred, because then, you can't have, sexiest man alive, Ryan Reynolds, previously sexiest man alive, Ryan Reynolds.
Yep, he got dethroned by Idris Elba, who is also sexy.
Yeah, but he was considered that.
Yes.
And they made fun of that, like in the opening credits, like they had his sexiest man alive people magazine.
Yes, cover. I saw that, and I was like, hot.
Anyway, so he does that. He gets this just like healing ability from this, where he heals and regenerates like from everything, but everything else seems to just be normal. Mm-hmm. Right? His skin is fucked.
Well, his face isn't normal, but everything else is.
No, his whole body is fucked.
Yeah.
His whole body is that awful looking skin.
Like his whole body is a ball sack.
Yeah, his skin looks like someone beat him with a meat tenderizer.
Yeah.
And but he heals from everything else except his skin looks like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, then he just sets out to basically kill the people that did this to him and look for the man who did it all because he thinks he can cure him and make his face look better. So he can go back to his lovely Vanessa. And how else? Help, Rachel, help.
So he can go back to Vanessa because he doesn't think that she'll want to be with him because in his eyes he's ugly.
Yes.
But then he learns that Ajax, aka Francis, stupid name for a villain, can't actually cure him.
It was a lie.
It was a lie. So then he just kills him, and Vanessa's like, "Why did you run away?" And he's like, "Because I look like a ball sack." And she's like, "Let me see." And she looks at it, and she's like, "It'll take some getting used to, but you know what? We'll get through it."
And then they live happily ever after, or so.
And then they have lots of sex.
We assume.
To George Michael's "Careless Whisper."
And there's like 2 X-Men that they could afford in the movie.
Yes. That's what he made a comment about, how they can only afford the 2 X-Men. Which honestly, I never even heard of those 2 X-Men till this movie, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, they had 2 people that they had to cast. They're like, let's take 2 X-Men that people don't know of from the comics, and just throw them in the movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they did. They're trying to get him to be an X-Men. They're like, come and be an X-Men with us. And Deadpool's like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd rather not.
Anyway, so that is the Deadpool. And one of the names for Deadpool, one of the little like taglines is he's a merc with a mouth.
I think I've seen that one.
Which is my favorite. The merc with a mouth. Oh, and one of my favorite like little Canadian jokes that they have in there is there's a death scene where he's tracking down someone to kill.
And he's like, got the Zamboni.
Yes, the Zamboni. And he's like, I'll get you. I'm going to kill you in 5 minutes or so.
I have that written down. What do I...
Yeah, it was like a montage of how he's trying to like kill everybody up the ladder to try to find Francis. Because Francis is the one that could, he thought fix his skin conditions so that he would be beautiful again.
Yeah, I decided that this movie, because he said it's now a horror movie, so I've decided that the new genre for Deadpool is horror romance.
Oh. It does kind of fit.
Yeah.
And Weasel, his friend that owns the bar, he also says that he should start starring in his own horror movies.
Yeah, because he makes
that's his only job.
Looking like
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger, yeah.
Yeah, he does look a lot like Freddy Krueger.
I also put on the note of him looking like Freddy Krueger, when people were staring, I put, don't fucking stare, that's rude. Just because he looks like a ball sack doesn't mean you need to stare.
Yeah, people say that you should love someone for what's on the inside, and Deadpool looks like someone looks like on the inside.
He looks like how outside. I look like on the inside.
Yeah, it is. It's how we all look on the inside, but on the outside.
Yeah. Also,
if you can't love them for what they look on the inside,
if it's on their outside, me at my Deadpool, then you don't deserve me at my Ryan Reynolds. Also, when he was like, I'm gonna be Captain Deadpool, I was like, no, that's lame.
Yeah,
that is lame.
And that's exactly what he said to it too, I think. Yeah. He's like, no, that doesn't work.
No, that's lame. You're just Deadpool. Also, the song that they had about like the Deadpool song that was playing over when he was like killing people and stuff, that song fucking slaps.
Also, you should look on YouTube because there is it's not an official thing, but there was a fan-made Deadpool the Musical 1 and 2, and it's perfect. And the guy that voices and plays Deadpool in both of that sounds exactly like Ryan Reynolds, and it's 2 Disney songs.
Ooh.
So the first one is done to Gaston. And the second one is a mashup. Like they do like a bunch of different medley of different songs. But the first one they do Gaston. And he's like, it's like a fight scenes and a whole bunch of other characters come in the second one. It's really good.
That's awesome. I think I wrote something. Oh, I made a quote about make a man out of you. I can't remember why I wrote that down, but I think he made a comment. He made a comment. I think either I'll wait till you're done rustling your giblets.
Oh, sorry, I was picking up my phone.
Okay. But I think he made a comment to Colossus, or Colossus was like, "We'll make an X." Oh, that's what it was. Colossus goes, "We'll make an X-Men out of you eventually," and I was like, "We'll make a man out of you. Be a man. You must be swift as the raging fire." That's why I wrote it down.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Colossus has a
Dead...
weak stomach for a metal man, whatever he is. Like, come on.
He has a what?
A weak stomach because he threw up after Deadpool shot Ajax.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
he
come
just
on.
starts puking.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know he could eat.
No.
I was like, what? This metal guy can eat?
I figured he ate like nuts and bolts.
Yeah, if he could eat at all. And also, how did he fit in the taxi?
How did he fit in the taxi?
Yeah, right?
No, they wouldn't put him in the trunk because the dude's brother
the dude's,
was
dude's cousin, I think
his
it was.
cousin was
Dopinder's cousin, who was, his rival for his girl's affections.
Yeah.
And Deadpool's like, I would never tell him to do anything. Yeah. You should put him back. Kill him. And then he's like, and you will, compete for her heart. Bury him.
Yeah, I was surprised that he could eat and throw up because I assumed that he just either drank like oil or something.
Like the Tin Man from like what the friggin' is
Wizard of Oz, yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I figured. He just like drank oil and stuff. And I also wrote, dang, Wade holds a grudge for a long time because he had this plan for a year. He was going after this guy.
You think that's a long time?
That's a long time for a grudge. Well, okay.
I'm mad at someone who broke my snow globe in kindergarten, Rachel. Jesus. Still mad at her. Disliked her all through school. Still hate that bitch.
It's not
fucking snow globe.
It's not who I'm thinking of, is it?
I can say her name. Will you bleep it for me?
I'll bleep it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I hated her ever since she broke my snow globe. And for other reasons, but that's where it started, in kindergarten. I brought that in for show and tell, and she broke it.
Did she take it? Was like, I threw it on the ground.
No, I think it might have been an accident.
Sure.
But probably not.
Yeah, we'll say.
Okay, because she's always done things to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've had a problem. So I've had a grudge against her.
Mm-hmm.
So I still don't like her.
No, I don't think I ever liked her, honestly. I think I tolerated her because she was like friends with people that I was friends with.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was civil sometimes.
Pretty sure she was in one of our university physics class.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was, but she never went to class.
Yeah.
But who went to class in university?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't go to half our law and society classes, or we left halfway through and we still got A's.
I mean, night classes are pretty much just like, don't go.
Yeah, but I remember we'd go and we'd be like, we're going to stay for the whole time. And then she'd be like, let's take a break. And we'd look at each other and be like, you want to leave? It's like, yeah, let's leave. We just leave halfway through. Yeah.
It would be like, oh, let's take a break. And it was like, please don't. We were planning to stay the whole time. And as soon as you say break, we hear, time to go.
Time to go.
get your shit and go.
And we would just leave.
Anytime she said break, it was pick up your shit, walk out the door.
Yep, definitely. But like I said, we still got A's in that course somehow.
Yeah. I forgot that we got A's in that.
We did. We both got A's in that course.
Yeah, like I remember we did not stay through, like, did we ever even do a full class?
I don't think we did.
Maybe the first one.
I think the first one, because the first one is not normally the full time.
Yeah, and we probably didn't have it figured out that you could just freaking leave.
We also probably
like, she wouldn't call you out.
We also probably thought that the course was going to be better than what it actually was, because that was an awful course. I'm sorry I made you take that with me.
Yeah, it was your fault. You did this to me.
I did. I was like, let's take this class together so I don't have to do it alone. And you're like, sure, it sounds fun. It was not fun.
Rachel, I'm adding you to my grudge list.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised I wasn't already on it, so, because of that course.
No, I don't even remember that course until you brought it up.
The only thing I remember is us leaving halfway through. And I think we would either go to Tim's or something after.
Yeah, because it was usually us meandering back to res.
Yeah.
But we'd never take the direct path.
No.
We'd probably always get back to res as if we had stayed the whole time.
I think so, yeah.
We never got back early.
No, we never did. Because we would just like, yeah, let's leave. And then we'd like take the long path, like, because I think it was in the science building. And we'd like take the path by like the arts building and the Bruno Center and like.
And we'd stop and like get something at like one of the little like cafes.
Yep, we would.
Mm-hmm. Okay, back to Deadpool. Back to Deadpool. Okay. Deadpool, anti-hero. I wrote that down.
Yeah.
I love a good anti-hero.
He's definitely an anti-hero. He even says he's not a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a good anti-hero or reluctant hero.
Mm-hmm. I don't consider him a villain. I know he mentions in it that he thinks he is a villain. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I think, like you said, he's just a anti-hero.
Yeah, he's an anti-hero. He doesn't have the qualities of a typical hero, mm-hmm. but he is the hero of the story. Mm-hmm. He's just doesn't have those typical heroic qualities.
Yeah, he's no Steve Rogers, as we've discussed.
Yeah, he's definitely not Steve Rogers.
No, he's not.
But he is more kind of closer to Romanov, but not like reformed.
Mm-hmm. Right?
Because he's kind of a chaotic Romanov, right? Romanov without anyone controlling what, which way that she's doing anything.
Yeah.
Right? There's no rhyme or reason to Deadpool.
Yeah.
Deadpool might have a goal, but Deadpool is also like going around with the katanas and like just painting the town red.
He's just like throwing people on signs so they go sploot.
And it's like, oh, you want to fight? Sure.
And he's just like, taking those cigarette lighter things in the car and putting them in people's mouths.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I should just give you a wedgie for fun, right?
Yeah, or he's talking about masturbating with this tough unicorn, which made me really sad.
He does talk about humping his little stuffed unicorn.
Because I was sad. I was like, no, not the unicorn.
It's not alive, Rachel.
It doesn't matter. It still made me sad.
Would you have preferred it wasn't a unicorn?
I would have preferred if he just didn't masturbate with a stuffed animal at all, okay?
Well, speaking of masturbating, he also, when he cut his own hand off and then it grew back and it started as a baby hand, he then talked about how he was going to masturbate with his baby hand.
Oh, right.
You remember that?
Yeah, and then also when he sniffed the guns after he shot, he was like, oh, I'm definitely touching myself tonight.
Deadpool, very sexual.
Yeah.
And he's just he is like the Tasmanian devil of Marvel.
He is.
But like the sexualized Tasmanian devil of Marvel. Like, I would love to see Deadpool in, like, can you imagine him in Endgame?
Oh my god.
Like, put him in the middle of the Endgame war. He would just be running around like, oh, hello, Thanos, let me introduce myself, and just running around doing things.
He'd look at him and be like, ooh, your chin, it's very square.
Yeah, he'd hit on Thanos.
He would. It's like your chin is square.
He's like, you are very purple and masculine.
Ah.
I bet your penis is very long.
I bet you it's very girthy. You'd see Thor with the hammer and be like, oh, is that a hammer or are you happy to see me?
He'd hit on everybody and they would not know what the fuck to do. Oh my god, imagine him hitting on Steve Rogers.
Oh my god, Steve
would have an aneurysm.
His brain would be like, does not compute.
Yes. It would just be error.
It'd be like, too touchy, don't know what to do with my hands.
Steve would just be like, Natasha, I need help.
He'd be like, and Natasha. The thing is, I think if he was doing that, Natasha would probably give it right back to him.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be like, ooh, feisty.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Natasha's dead, so I guess she can give it right back to him.
We don't know what these timelines are like.
That is true. Match. I mean, okay, never mind. I'm not going to put that thought out into the universe. Never mind.
What I would, would be funny though, if we did read some Deadpool fan fiction.
Ooh, I bet you there's some good shit out there.
And see what Deadpool like crossing over into some stuff.
Yeah.
And see if anyone can write a good Deadpool.
Yeah, that would be. We will judge. Okay, listeners, this is now a Deadpool fan fiction writing contest podcast, and we are going to judge your Deadpool fan fiction harshly. Reminder, Melanie has a Bachelor of Arts in English, honors in English, excuse me. So.
I know, I don't have an honors.
I thought you did honors.
Nah.
Okay. Too much work. Never mind. Melanie has a Bachelor of Arts in English, so she's gonna come for your asses.
Readability is a must.
We must be able to read it and make sure there are complete sentences.
I also would love to see Deadpool interact with more of the X-Men, right?
Yeah, I want to see him interact with Wolverine.
Yes.
Not just because he said he wants to suck his dick, but it can be funny.
But just like Wolverine is so like angry, stoic, kind of like all the time. Mm-hmm. And like Deadpool is just like bouncing around and giggly, kind of like humor all the time, and just like skips around and like has a good time while he's fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, new movie idea. I want a buddy cop movie with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh my god. No, imagine buddy cop, Winter Soldier, Deadpool. But like Bucky from like right before he went to Wakanda. Like when he was still so fucked up.
Give me that. That's what I want.
Oh, and then throw Falcon in there.
Might as well.
Yeah.
It's a buddy. It's not a. Okay, so then it becomes like a hang on. Trying to think of the way to put the word threesome in with a buddy cop thing. Threesome cop.
A buddy throuple. A throuple cop movie.
A throuple cop movie. We just made a new genre, a throuple cop movie.
By day, they're professional. By night, they get it on.
Down, bam, down.
They don't have to wait for the International Day of Sexual Intercourse to get it on.
Ew, and
they do it on the nightly.
Then Careless Whisper comes on. I would watch that. Yes, Hexa agrees. My cat just yelled at me, so she agrees.
Yes. She says that is what I need.
Yes. I will say the random cartoon characters that were thrown in towards the end were like Vanessa's on the ground and he's on the ground, and then there's just these like random cartoon characters dancing. Why?
Because he's like out of his mind with the knife in his head.
Okay.
Right? And I think it's because like the knife's in his head and I think it's supposed to be like almost like an acid trip. Is that the knife is hitting different parts in his brain.
Okay.
To trigger different weird shit happening.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I do wish that instead of like those weird types of cartoon characters, they had more like trippier shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like more like maybe like Cinderella style. Birds around the head type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or like Snow White style.
Yeah.
More like Disney cartoon. Like Disney princess stuff. But I think that's what they were going for. Was that he was like having a moment of like stabbed in the head. Mm-hmm. So it was like hitting on random parts of his brain.
Okay.
And pressing on weird shit. And he's looking at her and he's just like so in love and fucked up though because of what's hitting in different parts of his brain. And he's just like, hi, oh my god. Right?
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
And like the credits were cute where they had like the little cartoony credits. Mm-hmm. They were very cute. I will say one thing that Marvel has kind of ruined me with is I always expect there to be a post-credit scene.
Yeah, and the Deadpool one, not so good.
Well, it was just because he was calling people out.
Yeah.
But I was, because, okay, so like I told you before we started recording, I went and saw the new Fantastic Beasts movie last night, which was really good. But as we were leaving the theater, me and my friend Lauren, we kept looking back like, we gonna miss something? Is there gonna be a post-credit scene? We gotta make sure we don't miss the post-credit scene. But I know for Harry Potter, there's not gonna be a post-credit scene, but I'm still ruined because I expect it now.
Yeah, because Marvel's kind of made this like a staple now of movies to throw in like a little like something has to be there. And a lot of movies have adapted that.
Apparently the new Batman did that. I didn't know that they had the post credit and then they had the post credit scene. Because some Marvel because some Marvel movies do that. They have the post credit and then they have the post credit scene.
So annoying.
I know, but apparently Batman did that, so I need to look that up and see what it is because Victoria said apparently it's interesting or whatever, so we might see who the Joker is. But this is what has ruined me because I was expecting like a nice post-credit scene and he's like, there's nothing left, you can go. And he's like, oh, by the way, take your trash when you leave. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? Yeah. Take your trash when you leave because that's like, you know, be
considerate. Deadpool wants you to.
Yeah, Deadpool wants you to care for the environment.
Of the movie theater.
Yeah.
There was a thing before like a lot of the teasers for Deadpool 2 were like him going around, I think, like in a hoodie. Like in his kind of like jeans and a hoodie, not wearing his suit. And he's walking around and then he hears someone like call out needs for help. And then he's like, oh, I'll jump in, right? So he jumps into like a telephone booth. And he tries to put his suit on and he's like putting it on, but it's not very quick. And you can see like his ass like pressed up against like his bare ass like pressed up against the side. And he's like trying to change and it's like not very quickly at all. And you hear the person like getting murdered and screaming in the distance, right? Very blatantly. And he's like putting it on and then he's like jumps out. And the guy is like completely gone or whatever. Like it's the issue is already resolved and not well by the time he's ready. And it's like Deadpool coming soon, like Deadpool 2 coming soon, but not soon enough.
I will say one of my favorite things about the Deadpool 2 release or whatever was the song he did with Celine Dion. I know how you feel about Celine Dion. I know.
That song is golden, though. I love that song.
The video and like where he's like dancing, he's doing interpretive dance while she's singing.
I know, it's amazing.
And then he's like, okay, Celine, like, we gotta, like, you know, a little bit more blah, blah, blah. And she's like, excuse me? You're gonna tell
she's
me
like, you're at an 11? We need to be, like, at a 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a problem with Celine Dion, but I've realized that it's not like Celine Dion in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the songs that I was forced to listen to.
Yeah.
As a kid. Because I was like stuck in a car on long road trips for hours, forced to listen to these songs. So it's not Celine Dion, it's these specific songs.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing newer songs, like I love that song, Ashes.
Oh, it's so good.
Right? Such a good song. And hearing her sing it
mm-hmm.
I don't find any problem at all. But hearing any of those songs, like My Heart Will Go On and stuff like that, immediately triggers this like feeling of like wanting to run away, like or throw myself from a moving vehicle.
It was so funny because it was such a weird dynamic. Because I remember my sister loves Celine Dion, like absolutely loves her. And I remember she was the one who was like, you need to go watch this music video because it has Deadpool and it's hilarious. And I was not expecting the song to be slow. So that kind of threw me when she comes out and she's singing this like dramatic song and he's just there like slow motion shooting guns and like pouring water on himself in his chair. And I was like, I have many feelings about this. All of them are good.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm okay with this.
And like the one thing like I love about like a lot of the stuff, like whether it's the music videos that have come out and like the like featurettes and little like trailers and stuff, Ryan Reynolds' company is doing a lot of the like I guess marketing for this. Like he has a marketing company. Same thing like the marketing for Free Guy and stuff like that. They did the marketing for that. And they know how to market shit. And it's funny. It's really funny. Like the marketing for Free Guy being like the company that brought you The Lion King twice and stuff, right? And he was taught, like I remember seeing an interview where he was talking about that and how he had such a hard time getting, like they had such a hard time getting, I think, Disney to greenlight that. Because they were like, no, we don't want you to make fun of us like that. And he's like, no, people will like that.
Yeah.
They'll laugh at that. They'll, like, it's not bad. Like you did bring it twice.
You brought it technically like 3.5 times if we want to be technical.
Yeah, but like, oh, they know what they're doing.
They definitely know what they're doing. Like, yeah, they know what they're doing with the marketing stuff.
I don't have much more to say about Deadpool besides just the fact that, fucking love it.
No, I don't have much more to say either, actually. So, like I said, I actually watched it and I actually enjoyed it. Because, like I said, I don't think I gave it a fair shot the first time I tried to watch it. I think I got maybe 15 minutes in and I was like, no, this is trash, and turned it off. My opinion has changed. It is not trash. I enjoyed the movie.
I think to watch Deadpool, you've got to go in and give it a fair shot. Like, it's something you've got to pay attention to. Because it's something like I think it's hard to watch it and do other things unless you like can really like actually watch the visuals, because even like the opening credits with like how it had those things about like
average relief, hot chick,
a CGI character, right? Like that's what it was starring. It was like
evil British bad guy.
Produced by asshats. It was like directed by an overpaid tool.
Yeah,
right. Like, you had to pay attention to that, and they moved quickly. And, like, if you watch it a couple of times, you'll pick up even more as you go through it. And the more you know about, like, Ryan Reynolds or, like, being Canadian or, you know, like, knowing about the comics or different Marvel characters and stuff like that, the more you pick up. But, like, you have to go in knowing that it's going to be gory, it's going to be comedic, and if you're going to go in like expecting it to be like the Captain Americas, you're going to be disappointed.
Yes, you will be sadly disappointed.
Yeah. And you're probably horrified.
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely. It's definitely not a movie that I would let your kids watch.
No. Yeah. I think it has a 18A or R rating.
I think it's either 18A or R, which I was kind of surprised that it's on Disney Plus, but you know what? They've got that whole Star thing on Disney Plus, which is like a lot of the more mature content.
Yeah, I mean, Pam and Tommy's on there, and there's
Criminal
a talking penis in one episode.
Yep.
Have you seen Pam and Tommy yet?
Not yet. I am going to watch it. It's on my list.
One of the episodes, friggin' Sebastian Stan's penis has a whole monologue. And it's operated by like 4 people with like puppeting it. Legit. So if you're talking about Disney Plus, there's some shit on there.
That's what the plus stands for.
Yeah, the plus is there for parents to know to put safety shit on there for their kids, not to go watching Sebastian Stan's penis being puppeted. Yeah, because it has a whole monologue, and unfortunately, I really hoped that it had a French accent. I really think that could have brought the character more life, but it did not have a French accent.
That's sad. Yeah, it would be better with anything's better with a bad French accent.
I really think that penises, if they are going to take center stage and do a monologue, really need a French accent to really sell it.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they need to be like, ha ha, wee wee.
Because
I am your penis.
Just going off track and getting into that. The whole scene is him talking to his penis about how much he loves Pam.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And apparently Tommy actually came from his memoir.
That I believe.
Yeah, it came from his memoir. He'd get fucked up and he would have conversations with a penis.
I mean, isn't that what we all do on a Friday night, is get fucked up and talk to our penises?
Plural? Do you put them all in a row?
I put them all in a row. I have multiple.
Now, Pepe, you've been the bad little boy. So
you Pepe, you have been naughty. I think we need to cut off this penis talk before we go off the rails.
I don't know. Deadpool would be on board with it.
He would be totally on board with having penis conversations, but
yeah,
I think we're gonna end it there with the penis conversation. So this was our first movie watch episode. Like we said, we're going to be doing these at the end of every month. We are going to announce the next movie at the beginning of May. So keep an eye on our Instagram, which is Inconsistent Podcast 1, and our Facebook page, Inconsistently Consistent. And you'll see what movie we're going to be watching for May. Here's a hint. It's a Marvel one. Which is very vague because there's a lot of those.
Yes. But this one was Rachel's pick.
Yes, this one was my pick. But if you've been keeping up with the Marvel news, you might be able to figure out which one is coming up next.
Hint, hint, hint.
Hint, hint, hint.
They won't have to wait long, though.
Nope.
Because this episode is going up in the end of April.
Yes.
Right now. So they won't have much long to wait. Much long to wait?
Much long to wait,
wow. Yeah. Yes.
But if you have any future movie suggestions for us, you can message us on Instagram, message us on Facebook, or send us an email at inconsistentpodcast1@gmail.com. Remember to like and rate us on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts. Give us 5 stars. Tell us if you like Deadpool. Tell us if you have conversations with your penises about people that you like.
Yeah, tell us if you have grudges that you've kept since kindergarten.
Yeah, prove
Tell
me
us
wrong.
if there is, like if someone broke your snow globe in the kindergarten and you're really unhappy about it.
Yeah, if it still haunts you to this day and causes you adult trauma, let us know.
Yeah, and if you're still planning your revenge,
definitely let us know.
Not me.
Not at all. As a lawyer, she can't say this.
No. Revenge can take many forms, Rachel, and they can be perfectly legal.
That is true. That is true. You speak the hard truth.
And I know that as a lawyer.
Yes. Remember, people, pay your lawyers.
Pay your lawyers.
Pay your lawyers. Bye.
Bye.